Hey beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. It's Nation here, and I am back to share with you guys my journey. As you can see from the title, I will be getting a breast reduction in just a couple of days. And if you're not following me on Instagram, do so. I post on there very frequently. And I posted on my story announcing that I was having the procedure done, and a lot of people commented saying that they wanted to know my full process on how I went about having the surgery done and covered by my insurance. So if you want to find out how I did all of that, then stay tuned. So just a little backstory about why I'm having this done in the first place. So I've always had large breasts from the day I became a woman and started puberty. They started to grow. By the time I was 14, I was in a double D. By the time I had my first daughter, I was in a M for milk, okay? M. And I've always had a small frame. My back size has always been a 32, so very small, but very large breasts. And of course, with the large breasts, I have experienced all of the symptoms: the back pain, the shoulder pain, underwire stabbing me in the inside of my chest right here, not being able to wear certain clothes. Finding bathing suits is very difficult, having to go to specialty stores to buy my bras, and they're all very expensive. Nothing is affordable really, and it's just been difficult to say the least. So that's why I'm having the breast reduction done. So I started the process about the third week of January, and my surgery is on April 1st. So it took a few months, really seemed like it went by quickly. But this all just depends on, your insurance, the surgeon that you decide to go with. So really, I can only speak for me and my insurance, but the process should be pretty similar for you and your insurance company. So the third week of January, I called my insurance and I said, hey, do you guys cover breast reduction surgery? I'm looking to have it done this year, and I want to know, is this something that you all cover? They proceeded to tell me that they do cover the procedure if it is considered medically necessary. Okay? In the back of my mind, I'm like, the surgeon is going to look at me and be like, oh my gosh, you poor thing. So I didn't think it would be a problem, but there are steps and procedures in place, and everything has to be approved by them before they decide to pay. Now, the coverage is going to depend on your insurance. Mine covers at 90%, and they have to receive a detailed report from the plastic surgeon. So they told me the coverage 90%, and they said your next step would be to find a surgeon and schedule a consultation. Now, my insurance did not require a referral to see a specialty doctor, but some insurances do. They require that you see your primary care physician first and then be referred to your specialty doctor. Now, every surgeon is different with what they require. My surgeon that I ended up going to required for me to have had some type of past note from my primary care doctor saying that I went to them for some kind of back pain, shoulder pain, some kind of pain related to my large breast. So I would say, once you find out if your insurance covers this type of procedure, go to your primary care physician if you have not already. Complain about the problems and issues that you're having regarding your large breasts. Get that written down in the notes. That way, it just makes it easier for the surgeon to be able to prove that this is medically necessary. Now, I've been dealing with this for years. So I've seen the doctor previously years ago for pain. This was pre-kids, and they recommended a breast reduction. but I didn't feel comfortable getting that done because I wanted to breastfeed my children. And so they sent me to a chiropractor and I got adjusted. I think I only went once or twice. And it did give me a little bit of relief, not gonna lie. But I didn't keep going back. But I didn't have to. Like, the note from my primary care and the note from the chiropractor was all I needed. So yeah, I recommend that, like, that to be your first step. Go to your primary care, get it in your notes before you see the plastic surgeon. Since I already knew I had a note somewhere, I decided to just go straight to finding my plastic surgeon. Now, my surgeon was recommended to me by somebody that I knew personally, but your insurance should be able to give you a list of all of the surgeons in your area within a certain mile radius. They can do this for surgeons. They can do this for primary care physicians if you need to look for one of those first. So they were kind enough to give me a list of all of the primary care physicians and the plastic surgeons. But since I already had one that I wanted in mind, I asked the insurance company, hey, I want to see this doctor in this area. He works for this practice. Is this practice in network with you all? So they were able to tell me that the surgeon that I wanted to go and see was in fact in network. So I knew that if I went to him for a consultation, that it would be covered through the insurance. I went to see him the second week the first week. I think it was February 5th that I had my first consultation appointment with the surgeon. Really, that was like a little less than 2 weeks for me to get my consultation appointment. So at the consultation, I will say I went to 2 different consultations, one for the doctor that I knew I was probably going to end up going with, and another one just to get another one. And they were completely different. So this is going to vary based off of who you go and see. At my consultation with the surgeon I ended up choosing, he brought me in and then he just asked me to tell him my story. Like, why am I trying to get a breast reduction in the first place? And so I told him everything, all of the symptoms and just all of the things that go along with having large breasts. And then he took measurements. So he had me take my shirt, my bra off. He had his little tape measure and he was measuring all these different angles. Then he had me take a bunch of photos from different angles. And he told me that he thinks that this is going to be a really good case for insurance. Like, he wasn't really worried about having it covered. So I think March 5th was on like a Tuesday or Wednesday, something like that. By like that Thursday or Friday, I was able to email them and fax them the notes from my primary care doctor as well as the chiropractor that I saw a couple of years ago. And that was all that they needed. Now, the other consultation that I had was completely different in that when I went into the room, he asked me a series of questions. Are you experiencing this? Do you have this problem? Is this going on? And it's basically like a checklist, I guess, that he had. And if I checked off enough boxes, then he thinks that it could be considered medically necessary. So he asked me all of those questions, and then he also took measurements and pictures, and he said the same thing. I don't think this will be a problem. I think I can have this covered by insurance. But he was different in that he was just like, let me know when you're ready to schedule and we'll get you on the books type thing. So he didn't require for me to have any additional information or additional notes from a doctor. So it depends on who you go to, but I feel like it's just easier and you can cover all of your bases to have the note. Because just because the surgeon submits information doesn't mean that the insurance is going to approve it. So just keep that in mind. Every surgeon is different and the process is different. After my appointment, they called me back and they said, are you ready to get on the books for your surgery? And initially I was like, get on the books? Like, are y'all going to go through the cost breakdown? Are y'all going to let me know how much I'm going to pay? Like, I'm not going to schedule unless I know this is going to be covered. And at the office that I was going to, they were basically like, you need to talk to your insurance company. Make sure that you know what they say they'll cover and we can give you our fees, we can give you the code that we use to submit to insurance, and with this information you call your insurance company and you find out how much they cover for this code, this procedure. So I was like, all right, I'm not scheduling it until I talk to my insurance and just verify and make sure. So I called them, gave them the procedure number or procedure code that they submit, gave them the doctor's NPI, the address of the practice, just to cover my bases and make sure that everything was in network. And they said as long as the procedure was approved, that they would cover it at 90%. And they told me specifically that I wouldn't pay more than a specific amount. And so everything was clear. I felt good about it. And I called the surgeon back and said, I do want to schedule with you guys now. Well, at this point, it's like second week of February. They could have gotten me in for my surgery around the third week of March, but I wanted to do it a little bit after that. So that's why we ended up doing April 1st, but they could have gotten me in a little bit sooner. So the process really does not take that long. So we scheduled for April 1st. And then 2 weeks before my surgery date, I had my pre-op appointment scheduled. They ended up having to reschedule it to the following week, which was just a couple of days ago. But typically they schedule your pre-op appointment 2 weeks before your surgery. And at that appointment, you sign a bunch of paperwork, you make sure that you're on the same page about the size that you desire to be. They go over, stuff that you're not allowed to do right before surgery. That's another thing that I forgot to say. Once I scheduled my pre-op appointment and my surgery date, I also had to confirm where the surgery was going to take place, because the surgeon had 2 facilities that he does the surgery out of. So this is very important because you're going to be charged the fee that the surgeon charges, and then you're also going to have another fee from the facility where the operation is done. That's where you'll be charged for the anesthesia and the equipment and whatever else that they have to use. And so you also have to make sure that the facility is in network with your insurance as well. So they gave me both of the options, and I called my insurance up and I was like, these are the 2 places where the surgeon works out of. Which one is covered and in network with my insurance? So once I confirmed with them the facility, then I went ahead and told them we can do it at this location. So back to what I was saying, at your pre-op appointment, they talk about all the details. You find out the time that you're supposed to be at the facility. Mine is going to be at a hospital, and the time of the actual surgery. So all in all, it was pretty much a very simple and easy process. You just have to really be in communication with your insurance to make sure that there's no surprises. Get the procedure code, get the doctor's NPI, the name, the address of the office that they work out of, and the name and addresses of the facilities that they perform the surgeries at. And then there's just no guesswork. So I'm gonna keep you guys updated on how the surgery goes. I know the way that the doctor performs the surgery. I think he uses the anchor cut. And so they literally remove your entire nipple, and then they do an upside down T, down from where the bottom of your nipple is, and then they do a cut across underneath your boob. And so I'm getting a little bit of fat taken off, and I'm getting a lift. I'm trying to figure out how much to show you guys where I'm not exposing myself too much with before and afters. But just to give you a picture, right now I'm a 32J, and me and my surgeon have kind of agreed on a 32C, maybe D. He cannot promise me a certain size. The way that they go about it when dealing with insurance companies is it's a calculation, and they go based off how large your breasts are, your weight, your height, and it gives you a number of basically how much you're allowed to take off. And so I think he's going to get me to a C, but he also said, like, for somebody who has had large breasts their whole life, he doesn't like taking you from really large breasts to nothing, which I agreed with. Like, I still want to have something there. We'll see, but he said it will mostly be a lift and then we'll take a little bit off, because a lift alone would make me so much smaller. He thinks that with the lift by itself, I'd be back down to a double D. So that just lets you know how saggy they are. Like, honestly, breastfeeding literally sucked the life out of these babies. Okay, they are just hanging for dear life, literally to my belly button. I know. So I'm just very excited. I'm looking forward to it. Recovery is supposed to be pretty easy compared to other surgeries. For the first 3 days or so, I'm pretty much going to be in the bed most of the day. And then after about 2 weeks, I'll be feeling pretty good, pretty normal. And after 6 weeks, everything should be feeling really, really good. As far as scarring goes, I'll be on a regimen for 6 months. But according to the lady who I know who used him just a few months ago, she's saying that she's looking amazing. She's in love with her results. The recovery is literally nothing compared to what she also had, which was, I think, 360 lipo or tummy tuck, one of those. And she said that was really, really hard. The breast felt amazing. So I'm not too worried about it. I'm very excited. I think the procedure is going to be a couple hours long. Of course, I'll be being put to sleep. But all the saints, all of my Jesus lovers, please pray for me. Please pray that I have a safe surgery, really good results, and a really good and speedy recovery. And yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on how the healing journey goes. If you're not already doing so, follow me on all of my social media platforms, specifically Instagram, because that seems to be the only one that I post on a regular basis. I have to do better on social media. My personal page and my business page, go on and follow those. What else? Oh yeah, subscribe to the channel, share, like, comment. Let me know if there's any questions that you guys have or anything that I didn't address that you want to know about in my next video. So yeah, I love you guys. I know it's been so long since I've sat down and talked to you. I really overcomplicated YouTube. It got a little bit iffy for me, but this is not hard to just prop up my phone and talk and get it out there. So anyway, I'm rambling. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.